Hi, Happy New Year. Welcome back. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. I feel like I haven't been on here in forever. I am really excited to talk about today's topic and get nerdy with you guys. Hopefully you guys are ready to do that. Because today is absolutely going to be about your favorite nerdy game stuff combined with your favorite robots, which who doesn't love that? I'm really excited to bring on our guest today. I feel like they've become some of my favorite people Kai's Education has. So I'm really excited to work with Ronel today and bring her on. And she's going to get to talk to you guys about this new thing they have produced. And also we're going to get to play a little bit and explore. So I'm really excited to bring her on, and I can't wait for us to show you some pretty cool stuff. Thank you for joining again. And I think we're ready to bring her on. Let's go. Hello, Ronel.
Hi, Shantae. Oh, it's so awesome to see you again.
You too. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. What time is it in New Zealand right now?
Well, it's summer, so that's the first thing. That I don't want to brag, but hey, it is summer. It's nice and warm. We do have a bit of rain, but the forecast is good. But hey, I am coming over to TCA next week in Texas. So yeah, we'll bring out the winter willies again for that one.
Oh, good. Thankfully, Texas is not as cold. If you're coming here, it would be horrible. A big change, but that'll be so fun. So I'm really excited. Of course, most of you guys are probably familiar, especially if you've been hanging with us long enough, with Kai's Education and the wonderful little KaiBot. If you don't have one of these, today you're going to learn about them, and then you're going to want to have one, I promise, because they are pretty amazing. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Ronel, and I'm going to let her do some introing to what we're going to be doing today. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'll be monitoring some too. My team's on there. Any questions that you have, ask away. If we can't get to them right in the second, we'll get to them, I promise. We're not going to ignore, so ask away. We want to know everything that you have and questions that you might have as we go along.
Awesome. Right. Well, first, I would love to know who of you actually enjoy playing board games. I think, isn't that something we all sort of, even if it was Monopoly or anything like that. So when we at Kai's Education, obviously we design robots, and we look at coding and all of that. But, coding is like, okay, it's coding. How can we make it more exciting? And we've got some of our other products, which is literacy and math and all of that. But we sort of looked at that grade 4 to 6, and we thought, we really, really need to target this group of students who's starting to question themselves, starting to answer, and ask questions like, what can I do? And is it okay? And hey, I actually don't want to talk to the rest of the world. I just want to be in my little world. So how can we really help grow those social emotional skills for students? And I think that automatically then helps build that cognitive thinking skills. So we created a board game, an interactive board game called the Dragon of Disengagement. So yeah, we're going to hang with this, but let me just give you a quick overview, just a quick one. What does Kai's Education do?
Get your KaiBot ready. The tournament is about to begin, so grab the KaiBot with code, make sure it's locked in. Do a test run, gather your strength, move the code block and create your own chain. The walls are rising. Start your KaiBot. Ready, set, go.
Yay.
Right. How do you feel, Shantae? Social emotional skills. What does that mean to you?
I feel like, and there's a lot of teachers in this that are going to absolutely agree with me on this, but I feel like half of our job becomes that where kids are coming to us. They have these big feelings, these big emotions, they bring them in the door with them. And that's the first thing that we have to address in order to have them ready to learn. If we're not addressing it, then they're not ready to learn the concepts that we have to teach for their knowledge in math and reading and all the topics we have to cover. So it's a definitely one of the most important jobs for us as educators to know, how do we address this? How do we talk about this? And how do we make them feel seen and heard and ready to learn and listen to us when they're not ready yet to be socially there yet without our guidance.
Yeah, and like sometimes, in the olden days, I probably give my age away. It was just sort of like, it's good manners, show respect to your elders, all of those kind of things. But I think with, Generation Alpha and these students, it is, how do we actually teach empathy? It feels like it's like, somebody the other day said it's common sense. Like, it's not common sense.
It's not.
Really tricky one to actually look at. And so we address these things. And what is a way to make this lots more fun is we decided, and I'm going to give you a sneak preview because we are going to do a live demo, but we're going to look at this. This is the Dragon of Disengagement. So it's a board game. There's our robots. It's under old Marshie and Marsha. You're going to learn about these guys. And yeah, cards and, there's a comic book. So all sorts of things happening. But let's go back and just have a look at what we're going to do. So our framework is all our lesson plans, everything is around the CASEL framework. And then we throw in some coding. We say coding is sort of the blood that runs through our veins, but it's what you do. What is going to keep pumping? The blood needs to pump the heart, and we need to be able to move around. So we wanted to add that. This photo, I actually got a little video. This was actually Mitzi Luet from Huntsville district, and one of the kids said when they opened the box, they went and they go, "Oh, is this like Pokemon?" And I'm like, "Oh wow,
Yes.
if we can be compared to Pokemon." Yeah,
that's a pretty big deal.
Pretty excited about that. But really engagement, and also you can play this collaborative or competitive. So I don't know about you. I've got a competitive streak. So what about you?
A little. Just kidding. I'm very competitive. It's true. And also our students are. That's number one way of getting them motivated or interested is competitive, which I love that provides that as well. And it doesn't have to be for those kids who it's too much, which is amazing.
Yeah. And I think you're so right. It is the fact of, let's break them into groups. Let's get that, maybe the shy student, let's get him to be able to answer a question or ask, or give some feedback as well, and have that support of his teammates around him. Because it is still about a team. I think so many people, they leave school, they then go into a job, and all of a sudden they have to fit within a team. And they're like, well, I don't like this person. Oh, this person has said that. We really need to teach this from a young age. But hey, so what did we do? So Bruce Jackson, my co-founder, I'm sure a lot of you people probably know Bruce as well. He is a bit of ADHD, and, so we couldn't just do the board game. We couldn't just do coding. He bounced around, and then he said, hey, a comic book. Won't that be cool to do a comic book? So we got some amazing students that actually came, and they wrote the story. They used our characters from KaiBot and Conundrum, and they brought it into the story, and they covered those social emotional topics. Don't rush, ask for help. I think that's such a big thing these days, is people don't want to ask for help. You either get it, or then, okay, well, I failed.
I guess it's not for me. Instead of, it is hard, and the drawing attention and not understanding how to process, how to answer questions either, which this provides the opportunity for the students to say, okay, here's the problem. How do I process it? That's a really useful tool in everyday life.
Totally agree. And, with AI and everything, we need to teach students how to prompt, how to ask the right questions. and I think that is really, really important. Okay, so we've got a comic book, and I'm going to show you when we go across live, but yeah, lots and lots of cool stuff. You have to that defeat that dragon. And then we've got these categories. So these are the CASEL categories. So we look at relationship building, self-management, responsible decision-making, social awareness, and self-awareness. And we're going to answer some of those cards when we play the game. We've also got magic cards. So, if you code and you land on one of the magic cards, then you can get summoned of courage. And it can be a good card or a bad card, a bit like Monopoly, if you land on the chance.
Like the chance, yeah.
So, that can maybe help you to defeat the dragon, because it's all about to defeat the dragon's shield. So, and you'll see more about that. So, we use coding cards, backwards, forwards, left and right, but why? Why do we use physical coding cards? Chante, do you think it's any help? Is it helpful to have physical cards? What's that about?
So when I first met Kai's Education, that was the thing that drew me to them. And I feel like a lot of y'all that know me talk about this all the time. But the idea of teaching kids how to use a computer with clicking and dragging and building a code is really complex, on top of learning what code is and how to code. So these physical cards are tactile, engaging cards that kids are able to touch, lay out, see it, and understand it before they have to start doing it with computer knowledge. So it separates it out and lets them build knowledge before it's time to transition into coding on a computer, whether it's block coding, which is what I love about it. It gives the kids tactile versions they can lay down, and they can see it and know where their problem is and switch it around. And that to me that sold me on them. I can't help it.
And I think what is super important, and this is what we hear all the time, the new buzzword apart from AI, I think is screen free, as how do we actually get the kids off the screens? So all of our products, you can do it totally screen free, or you can actually, add a screen to it as well. So, it's interactive or screen free, and you're going to see all about that. So we've got these coding card challenges as well. And the guys that develop these coding card, we've got about 25 coding card challenges, and they're easy, medium, and hard. Like I would say super hard. So really those gifted students, here's a challenge for you to be able to complete them. But we absolutely love it. And again, all those are aligned with the CSDA standards, and also for each state. So when we go on the learning portal, our lesson plans are all aligned with probably about 45 different state standards as well. So there is going to be a lesson plan that you can download, that we can share as well. And, I know people think, let's start with coding cards. That's probably going to be kindergarten and grade 1. Well, these are not. We actually add, we do functions, we do variables, we do operators, and we just have so many different cards. So you can really scaffold this from kindergarten to grade 8.
That's my favorite part of it too. It really is, because I feel like everybody's getting the same tools. It's just they can use them differently. So you can have more advanced cards mixed in with there, and no one has to know, oh, my cards are not as complex as those because I'm not there. There's no way of telling that really in the way that they're coding, which makes a difference to me.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things, we brought out KaiBot, which is the robot. So you can just use it with the blue tiles or with literacy or whatever. And it's one robot that then scaffold that whole experience. And that's how we build onto knowledge. So all of those, and we will share this slide deck. I'm sure all of that's going to be shared with you as well.
Yep. We have a question that I think might be helpful to answer, a couple of them, but one of them I really thought would be fun to hear from you. It was, what was the inspiration for this product? What was it that was like, okay, we're going to do this?
Okay, I can probably just say one word and maybe some people will get it. And the word is Bruce. So what was the inspiration? Okay, so, Bruce started developing. So Bruce is the product development person. He's also the co-founder. So, he created KaiBot. We actually started with KaiLab, which are the yellow robots. And very quickly we saw we need that fundamentals. They're really the foundation of computer science. So we built KaiBot. And then we're like, okay, well, you can do so much with KaiBot, but hey, let's do cross-curricular. So we added literacy, and then we added math. And then we keep getting, questions and talking to students, and we can see, how can we get the students to be a little bit more settled? Or how can we get students that's really shy, that's on the spectrum, that doesn't want to participate? How can we involve them? And I think with, after COVID, there were just so many stress elements that was on it, on the students, but also even on the teachers. And we just thought, okay, we need to build something that's going to help build those social, emotional skills. And we could have just done a board game, but hey, we're super good in doing coding. And we thought, why not combine it? But, if you're a counselor and you just want to use this Dragon game just to be doing that, absolutely you can do that. If you're computer science and you just want to go and do your 25 coding challenges, you can go and do it. So there's really enough for everybody.
And I love to, I think, and those teachers in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because again, it's been a couple of years since I was teaching, but graphic novels were like my one way of getting kids interested in reading. And so the idea of a comic book that you use to get kids engaged in not only coding, but also in understanding decision-making and how important it is. And this idea of them defeating a dragon that keeps them from being engaged in what they need to do. So they're battling this dragon and trying to get past it is honestly like a huge game changer. So this book to me sealed it for me as far as when I thought about how do I get kids cross-curricular engaged, we all know graphic novels. So this to me was a big deal, really, honestly. And I could see it. And my mom's a mental health liaison for a school district. So she immediately, I was like, I got to show you this. And she was like, oh, the counselors and those of us who are helping kids with processing hard things, this is amazing for that, which I feel like was also a conversation with the teachers as far as like, how do we get kids engaged? Let me give you some ideas. And this is what came from it. I know Bruce enough to know that was some of it too.
And, and from that, so we had this idea in our head. And then last year at ISTE, we did a breakfast and we had some super teachers. We had Heather Brown and we had Brett Salakis, who is a teacher from Australia. And they came too, and they were helping us with the breakfast. And we were sort of doing, I don't know if anybody was there, but we were doing this Lord of the Rings kind of medieval competition. And then they dressed as, in costume. And all of a sudden we started talking about the dragon. And Heather was talking about Edu-Guardians. And it was all these little light bulb moments that went off. And we're like, okay. And they did this little role play and ask a question. And then they had to defeat the dragon, which was Heather. And then she actually had to skull some, like fire source and things like that. And going away from that, we thought, hey, here's an idea. If we can get conversation going, because I think that's what it is. And that's really, we need to say thanks to Brett and to Heather. And
Yay!
Guardians. And and it's actually all featured in the book, right at the back page. That is, that's Heather. So
I love that.
Questions. So it's really, really cool what we wanted to do. So that's where it started. So there's some resources, lesson plans, all of those things. Obviously, we do all of that. But hey, I do have to always, I'll do a shout out to Shantae, Jake, to Kim, Medina, all of that team. We just love it when we share with you because you get it, and you take this to the innovation labs and you take it to schools. you deliver curriculum with it as well. So absolutely, anybody that want to get some products or anything, talk to this team. They're an amazing team.
Amazing.
So should we cross over?
Yes, and while we're doing that, can you tell us who did the artwork for the comic? Because that's somebody's asking who did the artwork.
Lucia. So we've got Garen, who's our CFO. His daughter, she wrote the story, and then she's got this design the friend that's studying design at the moment, Lucia. And we gave her a bit of a brief, and she carried on and she did the comic book. And I think what was really cool is we started looking at AI, how to create it. We shared it with her, and she goes, "No, I can do it so much better." And she did it by hand, and she colored it in, and she did the whole thing. So, absolutely give recognition to those two students that work so hard. So Kayla and Lucia, they are the brains behind a lot of this artwork and our comic book as well.
I love that people drew it, and that's amazing. That's a really good story to hold on to. I love that. Just nothing like people who can draw and create things. You're never going to get anything like this unless you have somebody actually drawing it. So I love that.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's just going to be the overhead. So you will see, this is going to be our iPad, and eventually it will be on a browser as well. So, but at the moment it's an app. We've got these coding cards, so really nice thick board, questions, answers. These are the coding challenges, and we're going to do one of those. The magic cards, the rules are all here. Very simple. And let's remove Marshie. And you've got these tokens. So this is your dragon, where you have to defeat the dragon is over here, and code your way around. So really simple. We're going to start at the bottom. So let me go, and I think that's the screen, right? All the screens that we've got. So you've seen the book. Now what we're going to do is we're going to you can go totally screen free. So we can decide, are we going to play this collaboratively or competitively? You can have the two teams that you can do. So you can have probably 2 to 4 players. So it's like really nice tabletop that you can do. And they're the same as our other tiles. It's just magnetic. So you just snap them together. All of this come in a nice box. And we may say, let's pick up one of these cards. Right, Shantae.
Yes.
This is about social awareness. So when someone from a different background celebrates a holiday you do not celebrate, what is a good way to learn about it? So you've got 4 answers. Each answer's got different points. They're all correct, but some is probably better than others. Okay, answer number 1. Tell them about my holiday first, and then see if they will tell me about theirs. Doing nothing. It doesn't really matter what I don't celebrate. Look it up online when I get home, or ask them to talk about their holiday. So
So I know what I would do initially, because I know myself, is to talk about what I know, but I know that the best way is to be a listener. So I'm going to pick number 4 as a listener that I want them to tell me.
Awesome. Okay, so now when you look at the cards, you will see there's a clock, and each of the categories have got a different icon. So that's got a key, clock, and you will see here on the board, we've got a crown, a clock, keys. So you said you've got a clock, number 4. So we need to find a clock, number 4. So our robot's here, and we need you to code the robot there.
Here's my answer. Okay.
That's so when you're going to see the answer just now. Let's first code it to go over there. Okay.
Starting from, all right.
So
are you starting off the board?
So you can start in any corner, and there's 2 of these. So there'll be one on the other side as well.
Okay.
So we're going to
starting there. Is the back of it facing away from the board, and the front is facing towards it? Okay, cool. I'm on it. All right, so we need to go forward.
I'm going to go forward.
And then we're going to turn right. Actually, no, go forward 2.
Okay, we've got this. Forward 2. Yep. And I love walking it out so we can see what we're going to do.
That's very helpful. Yep. Then I'm going to turn right. And then go forward 4.
We're going to go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I'm going to code it, but can you see you're going to cross a magic card? So let's see what happens. Yeah, you have to pass it. So here is Summoning of Courage. You may activate this card if each member of your team can name a personal strength. You cannot repeat someone else's answer. So if you can do that, you're going to take more points away from the dragon. So we'll first code there. You can start thinking about this, and then you're going to need to give me one of your strengths, and then we can take away one of the dragon's shield. So let's code this. So the way we do it with old KaiBot, just tap it.
Imagine having these conversations with your students in your class. Like I cannot imagine the amount of good conversation that can come from these. If I'm not a good coder, no one hold that against me, okay? I've been put on the spot. I'm trying my best.
Right. So you managed to get there. So that's really, really good. Now we're going to come back. Do you have a personal strength? Can you name something?
I think I'm really good at empathy.
I think that's, I mean, you know, like I said that in the beginning, I think that's probably one of the number one superpowers that most students need to try, because I think if you can show empathy, leadership comes much easier for you, because you can then understand and start communicating with people. So I think you'll be able to take 10 points. So these are your tokens. I've just put in 5. You get a whole box of them. So we're going to take 1 away. Okay, now let's see. What was your answer? You've got number 4. Number 4, 30 points. And go 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just doing it really easy. So we've about to defeated the dragon. And
so the card itself that you have in your hand right now, the back of that card, gives them what that answer is about, as far as like, okay, you answered that, this is why it's good, or you could have done it this way. Is that kind of the response?
Yeah. So your answer, asking them, is a good way to let the other person share about their holiday. They could also show the photos or draw a picture to help you understand it better. So if you were doing the way that you said, it's all about you know, my holiday, then it says, number 1, while sharing about your holiday is a nice way to connect, but if you want to learn about someone else's experiences, you should ask them first to show you're interested, and then share yours afterwards. And you would have got 20 points. So it's okay, but it's always try and listen, ask people questions.
That's amazing. So, someone also asked about what was on the robot. So I'm going to hold this up for a second and show you guys. The robot doesn't come with like an outfit on it, but they're little bonus outfits, and you can put them onto the robot. Each case or each of the boxes that you get comes with some. These are specific for this game, but your regular ones come with a few as well that you can put little clothes on them, make them personalized. And you can also have, there's one that's blank they can draw as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marshie and Marsha is all in the comic book. So it's a story about those 2 marshmallows that got lost, and they actually dropped their phones while they were doing TikToks in the comic book. And the dragon caught their phones, and then they want to get their phones back. And so they have to find the dragon. So they code their way around, find the dragon, answer all sorts of questions. And then there's a really sad ending, but it's a nice ending. It's really nice. But when I read it, I was like, oh, for dragon, but there's a good outcome. So I'm not going to give you away. You'll have to read the book.
You have to play to find out. Someone really quickly asked Ronel, since we were talking about the outfits, if there were files that they could get from you guys that were ones they could design themselves based on just the model.
Yes, I think it's actually on the website. There is a file that you can download and then color it in. Otherwise, hey, please, just reach out. Oh, it's Ellen. Ellen, please reach out to us, and we can just send you the file. So I know in each box there is a blank one, so the kids can draw that, and but there is a downloadable file that you can use.
Awesome.
Okay. So now the next step would be is why don't we join the game? So now we can go online. So I'm going to put my tokens back. And you'll see there's green and red tokens. So when I actually go on my book, the red one is the shield of vitality. And the green one is the shield of emotion. So it's really, really exciting stuff that we learn. But okay, so now we have basically got the online game, and I'm going to switch over to my iPad. Now, hopefully this is all going to work. Yes. Okay, there we go. So Dragon of Disengagement, we're going to play. Oh, and of course now this is the new thing with iOS. So this, as you have to say, what is 43 plus 31? And that is 74.
Pair your KaiBot.
Okay, so it's asking you pair your robot. That's the same number that's on your robot, and we go connect. So your robot is connecting.
Choose between
now
collaborative
you can choose
mode
if you want
or
collaborative
versus
mode or verse.
In collaborative mode, the teams
Whichever
work
one you
together
do, we
to
can
defeat
go
them. In
verse,
versus mode,
go
choose your
next.
dragon's max shield amount.
Then you can
And
go
the difficulty level of the
easiest,
coding
curious,
challenge at the end of the
courageous,
game.
and complex. Let's just start on curious.
Amazing.
You can choose your different, how many points you want to give the dragon. So if you want to make a short game, you can give him, we just did like 10 minutes. So that was just like 50 points. We're
Choose a
going to
name
go
for
90.
each
You
team.
can change the names. At the moment, it's just Marshie and Marsha, but you can write your own
Red
name.
team's turn.
Right.
Place KaiBot on the
Now,
start tile.
Team Marshie. And of course, it's going to be the furthest one. So it is saying, place your KaiBot on the start. So let me just move this robot.
You can see it moving on the screen because it's through the AR version. So you're able to see the augmented reality as you move your robot, which I love because the kids are like, wait, it just moved. Yeah, it can read it.
So here's your first question. This is a self-awareness one. Team Marshie, what makes you feel proud? So it's a doing something. So which one of those, Shantae?
I'm going to be difficult this time. I'm going to say that I feel proud when I win at things. That's what I'm going with. And I'm sticking with that answer.
Winning at something. Right. So now it's saying to you, your question was
Code your
you need to
KaiBot to
code
the
your
flashing
robot
tiles
to
that match
either
your answer.
the badge or the medal number 2. So let's code that to your medal. So you can see what you're going to do. Can you tell me what is those coding cards?
Sure. Go forward 5.
So you're going to go to that one forward. Let's just get a 5 here. Forward 5.
Then, guys, you also could help me in the chat so I don't have this much pressure on me. Okay, forward 5, turn right.
Yep.
And then forward 3.
Okay. So
I thought
what
all
we'll
of you
do-
guys in the chat had my back, and now I'm just suffering alone. Come on.
So you'll see I've now done my coding cards here. So I'm going to go forward 5, turn right, forward 3. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my robot. I'm going to go back to the iPad because I want to show you what happens on screen.
As the scan, oh my goodness. Immediate feedback.
And I put it back. It tells me where to put it. And I hit play. 3, 2, 1.
And this is just on the iPad, right? Oh my
This
God.
is on the iPad. Aha.
Add
Picks
10
are
health
forfeit.
to your
Add 10
team's
health
health
points
bar.
to your team health bar.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I need to have, so we were green and now we're going to add. So if you look at my screen, da-da-da, sorry, competitors, we add your team. Right, we've done that.
Winning.
Okay. Oh dear, you did choose the most difficult. Let's see what this one is. So you just get the one magic card. You don't need to do the second one. Okay, we've arrived. What makes you feel winning at something? Let's see what the right answer is. Oh, 20 points. Ka-ding! The dragon gets hit. Winning feels good.
My
for us.
goodness.
Pride comes from effort, not just results. Isn't that so true?
Yes.
Right, and now it's the other team's turn. And that's how you go through the whole game. So now Marshie is on the other side, and you would code that until you have defeated the dragon all the way, and then you get to the coding card challenges. So let me set up one of the coding card challenges, and we're going to see what you can do that, because we are on time. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
While you're setting that up, if there's questions, please fire away. I'm watching the chat, so if you have any questions, please ask. Because I would love to make sure that if there's anything you have in particular that maybe we missed, please let us know, or anything that is more specific also. What I really do love though is that, again, the iPad is really fun, really engaging, but you don't have to use it, which makes it super convenient when you're like, okay, maybe not today, we'll do it just with the cards, or today we're going to make it where we're using the iPad. You can go between those two, which I love. I think it's really helpful to have the option to, yes, I want the iPad, or actually we're not doing that today.
Yeah. So when you get to the end of the game, the iPad, because obviously there's still a part of the game left over, you will see this coding challenges is also on the iPad. So you can do it on the iPad as well, and it will show you what you're doing on the mat. But we're going to go screen free because I think that is still really, really cool. So the challenge that we're going to do, and I'll hold this up so that you can see. So this is an easy question, or easy challenge. So place your KaiBot on any tile. So we've got, you'll see there's the dragon with the thing. So we're going to work around these tiles. Program your KaiBot to visit the dragon tile, but before touching its destination, your KaiBot must visit all 4 tiles next to the dragon tile. On each tile next to the dragon tile, your KaiBot must take a moment to face the dragon before continuing its trip. And there's a hint. Use a loop to repeat the cycle. So you're basically going to be, that's your dragon, and you're going to use these tiles around it, but you have to keep facing him, and you have to go around.
Is this, the coding challenge is just as a bonus thing, or do they do it after they code it to that spot? Do they take a challenge card? When do they do that?
So at the end of the game, to get off the island, you have to compete. You have to complete one coding challenge.
And that's the final thing at the end.
That's the final thing. And then if you want to carry on coding, hey, there's loads of different cards. So even if the teacher just want to say, today we're going to do coding, she can just hand out the coding challenges, and they can go and code the cards. And each of the coding card challenges has got a lesson plan that's on the lesson portal as well.
So full lesson if they want to turn it into one. Oh my goodness, I love that. Can we answer a couple questions real quick?
Yes.
One, Ellen asked, is it possible to have someone play remotely?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. So it is not like with KaiLab. I think that's what, because I know Ellen has got KaiLab. That's what's really cool, is you can, sort of code it over the internet. At the moment, the student can either play screen free, or he has to have a device with him, and then he can see it. But what I have seen as a teacher putting it actually on a smart board, and then she plays it as one of the team members, and then all the students can see it as well.
How long does a game last, Bill asked?
We've had it from 30 minutes to about an hour. It all depends how many tokens you're going to give the dragon. So if you want to give him 100 tokens, you have to keep going until all the tokens are finished. That's when you finish your cards. There's about 50 cards. You may want to just do 2 cards, if you've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So it all depends. The average one for about 40 minutes is about 150 points to the dragon.
Awesome. Next question is, how many students would you recommend can play this? And I think you might have said it really early on, so maybe we have people.
Yeah, we would go 2 to 4. There is some teachers that said we even tried 6 in a group. I think it really depends on your students, but probably not more than 6. So it's a really nice little tabletop that you can do. So what we've seen, and I think that's what we like as well, is on one table you may have KaiBot with some tiles, on another one you may have literacy, on another one you may have dragon. They all learn coding. They don't even realize, hey, we're actually ticking the box for computer science, but you're learning all these other concepts as well.
Love it. And the next question is kind of the same question, so you answered that. I do think, I will say as a add-on to this, is that the way that you play that will depend on the environment that you have, as far as like, is it a station, but also rotating kids to come and maybe they're all on that one team, and as they rotate around, they get to play to contribute to the winning of their team, which you could do that as well. So there'd be multiple kids coming and going instead of just 1 or 2 playing the whole time, which is also an option. But you can also have multiple games going at once if you have multiple boards. That's also an option. Then Heather was just stating that she loves the board layout of the dragons, and wants to know, would you have a DIY board where students and teachers could make their own coding games at some point?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the challenge, and try to look at different subjects. We don't charge subscription. So, this is one of the things we really looked at it and decided, are we going to do a subscription model? And we said, no, we can just bring out really fun things. And I think the stuff that we brought out is really fun and engaging. If you've got an idea, hey, flick it through to us. Let's see if we can develop it, and we can go from there. But yeah, I mean, you can always use the coding card challenges just, on the floor, because the robot will still work. But I think, seeing it in a virtual world is also a lot of fun.
For real. I agree. Thank you. I know, like, it's really a fun new concept, and getting all these answers is helpful as they're processing and teachers are trying to figure out how this would work for them, which is nice. I will also say, as a kudos to Ronel and also to her cohort, Bruce, is they're always willing to hear from you. If there's ideas, if there's inspiration, I feel like that's one of the best things about their team, is that anytime I've been like, hey, what about this? It's a discussion. It's not an immediate like yes or no, but it's ability to have that conversation, which I appreciate.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's and we did have a look at the grade levels, and I think that's where we sort of thought about, okay, we've done that K to 3 with literacy and math. What can we do for 4 to 6? And that's why we sort of identified social emotional learning and skills and stuff. So we focused on that. 7 and 8, grade 7 and 8, we've got the conundrum where you can go and make your own games. And, Heather, that's probably where you can look at as well, where you can just actually from scratch create your own escape rooms and puzzles and mazes on conundrum.com. So there is that opportunity as well.
Agreed. I was told this would be great for rainy days when recess is non-existent, which I absolutely hadn't thought of, but 100% agree. This is a really fun thing you can do as a replacement when we're stuck indoors, especially if you live in the Midwest right now. It's very miserable out there. So I love that.
I think for me, the main thing is just, and this is, I would love to hear from other teachers as well, it's just the conversation that all of a sudden starts to happen. Like some of the cards, let me pull in one of these other cards. For instance, the responsible decision-making. For example, before making a big decision, what's smart to ask yourself? So the answer is, how will this decision affect me? How will this affect myself and others? What will other people think about me? And what is the easiest choice for me right now?
That's I mean, I feel like as an adult, we should probably all be playing this game. I'm like, wait, oh no. Yeah, I feel like I should play this with my family as well. Help us learn how to communicate a little better. It's easy to just think about yourself, but I do feel like this is such a great foundation for kids. It really is. These questions are questions that, we wouldn't necessarily think that we should ask, but having guiding questions like this really could open up some amazing classroom discussions.
Yeah. So also just to add, these 50 questions was, we didn't just come up with, hey, like, what do we feel? We did work with some school psychologists and with a clinical psychologist as well to say, for that age group, what are the questions that's coming up? We've got a couple of digital citizenship questions in there as well. What do we do on the screen? Don't just click on every advert that comes on, just things like that. But it's about that conversation. It is like, even I sort of feel, even if you just take one category and say, okay, well, this week we're going to talk about responsible decision making. We don't need to do coding. Let's just have this conversation. Talk. Yeah, let's talk. And then, hey, how are we going to keep them engaged? Instead of just talking, let's play the game.
I was going to say that just like the concept of Dungeons and Dragons thing, where you could just put a number on the board like 50 and say, hey, as we answer these questions, I'm going to subtract until we get down to where we've defeated it. And you could do rolling dice even, where it's like, you roll the dice, okay, this question is going to be worth this much. How many can we get it right and defeat it? I just think that there's a lot of ways to use this to make it where you can code, or if you don't want to code, or if you want to only code, there's options. Let's see. Ellen's saying, I think it would be amazing to have students and teachers play this together so students could see that teachers encounter the same challenges with decision-making and other SEL aspects of life. I have nothing to add to that, Ellen, because it's spot on. Incredible. Incredible.
Absolutely. Because I think it is, by showing students that we as vulnerable, that we don't have all the answers. And I think that's often, I often say this to teachers, because they say, well, we don't know computer science. I said, just give the robot to the students,
they don't need your help.
With them.
It really is encouraging. It really is encouraging. I feel as someone who has a very big passion for educators, and you guys know, I really love you guys, and I will do anything I can to help you. So getting these kind of opportunities where I can talk about stuff like this with you guys and to show you some amazing people and products, this is what it's about for me. And truly, I mean that. And I know it sounds cheesy and cliche, but it's truly how I feel. So it's really exciting. And the engagement, you guys, has been amazing too. So I really appreciate your input as teachers. And how do you feel about this? And how is this going to be used in your classroom? Because I know I can confidently speak for STEM Education Works and for Kai's education that we care about what you think about it and how it feels for you, whether it works for you. And if it doesn't, we want to know how we can do it differently. And I think that's something that, as long as we stay that way, things will hopefully be produced like this, where it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. That's because of you guys and your influence on us on what we're doing with what we're being given. So kudos, obviously, teachers. So
no, thank you. It's all really good. So maybe, we're nearly running out of time, but I just want to quickly. I just want to show that lesson portal now. I need to make sure.
Oh, I love that. Yes, so we know where it is.
Yeah. So it's just learn.kaiseducation.com. You need to sign in just so that you've got your account. You can then just go to, we've got KaiBot, Conundrum, Kai's Clan. That is going to change to Kai Lab, just so that people that don't know, we are in the change. Nothing else changes, just the name. There's some getting started videos and lessons. But what you would do, you would come to KaiBot, click on KaiBot, and then it is going to give you grade levels, subjects, difficulty, there's accessibility, because remember, we are fully accessible as well. And if you just actually product type Dragon of Disengagement, all the lessons is in here. So say if we just say we just click on this lesson, It will give you an overview of what we try to talk about. So this is the coding challenges. Just remember, this is the coding challenges. So down here is the standards. Let me just open it up in a new tab. Yeah, which is opening up. It will show you all the standards. So again, there every state standards is on there. It will jump to the Dragon of Disengagement that you can then go. So if I scroll my thing down here, there's Teaks, Florida, California, New York, blah, 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 blah. All of them is there. Coming back to the lesson, it tells you what you need, your overview, little warm-up, forward, backwards. And I just go talk about loops, card limits, and then that is your challenge. It gives you some hints, student setups, loops, the reflection, and how your code will look. So look at that. That's a variable. So, you know,
this is the kind of stuff, though, that teachers really like having, so that if you aren't comfortable with coding, you have a way to glance and say, oh, this is what it should somewhat look like, which I love.
Absolutely. We need to make it as simple as possible. I mean, teachers are so busy. They don't want to just go and figure out, okay, now how do I do this? You know, what's the answer?
On top of everything else. Yeah.
So we tried to help. But so all the lesson plans are in there as well. And then you can just go from there. So, yeah. Any other questions?
That's amazing. Let's see. Is there a way to print these out? Which, oh yeah, she already answered. He said, oh, I asked you early. That's okay, Thomas. Listen, I appreciate the engagement. Okay. Yeah. It'd be great for us to see more of this dragon game. How do we go about that? Being able to see more about that. And then also mentioned, since you were talking about the market math, that is also something that is available and has all the resources with that as well. It's another extension pack that they have.
Yeah. I mean, we will be at TCA. You guys have got a pack as well. So, you know, I think it is, you know, those things are available. We do the Kai Starter pilot program as well. So people can always reach out to us on that one. But yeah, it is just, you know, get one, try it out. And I'm sure every school in the district is going to need one in the classroom.
That's true. Jay, if you reach out to us, we can at least send you some links to where to go if you can't find it too. So, and if you email, I'm going to put it in the chat, but you can reach out to any of our team and we can guide you if you need help with where to go for more information on it as well. Thank you. My team's got me. Thank you, Sarah. So Sarah just put in the chat where to go to look at the marketing math stuff. But if you do need more resources, if you want to know more about it, obviously you can reach out to us. We can get in touch with Ronel for you as well if we need some more videos. I'm sure she has plenty to share with us as well.
Yeah, and I think, Shantae, you guys have got your own, the curriculum also for KaiBot and KaiLab and stuff that you're working on. So, yep. You know, definitely on the lesson plans, you know, all of that, there is so many resources. And yeah, just reach out and the team, you know, Shantae and her team is going to be able to answer it. Otherwise, we'll make something. We'll do
it's
whatever
true.
We'll make it.
Yes, it's true. They will. If you have an idea and it fits what they were doing, they'll make it happen. They will. Sarah's putting a thing in the chat as well to let you know that how to contact any of our company when it comes to any of this stuff. Thank you for coming. Thank you for to Ronel for giving up her time. I know it's probably early in the morning there for you. So thank you. Any more questions, please fire away. Anything else that you have to ask her? Obviously, this is not the last time you're going to see them because I love their company. I love them as humans as well. So any chance I can do stuff with KaiBot education, you're going to see them there.
I mean, I would love to hear, you know, Jay or any of the people that's still on there. How do you see this work in your classroom? You know, where do you think this can fit in? Is it across multiple disciplines? Or I would love to hear from one of the teachers that's on the call.
Yes, I would love that as well. If any of my my teachers out there that are still with us, if you have any ways that you're immediately, because I know for a fact that you had immediate thought when it hit, like, wait, I could use it for this, or I wonder if I could use it for this, because I know you guys, I know how you think, and it's immediately where I went, and I feel like, again, there's so many different ways to do it, and you guys are so creative with when you're handed almost nothing, somehow you make it into something. So I'm always floored by what you think of.
And I totally, I think, and this is the beauty about the product as well, as, and we've seen it with, Thomas, you were also asking about, the market math and the literacy kitchen. Those products are out there, but we so quickly see a teacher say, okay, well, I'm going to read a book, whatever, Balloons Over Broadway. And Heather created a lesson. She's using the KaiBots and she's using the tiles and they do the lesson. So I just love the creativity of teachers. And then you can share it and we'll post it on the lesson portal. We give you full credit for what you do. And then other teachers can benefit from that as well.
As you know, we like to share because, we don't have a lot of funding. Aaron asked if there's a way to make the game shorter. And I feel like I can answer that because you get to pick how many of these are 10 points each, correct? These little tiles that look like this that come with the game. These are 10 points each, and you can pick to have the kids have a bunch of them or a short amount, and then that's how long the game lasts. So if you're like, I just want 40 points, and once that's done, it's done, then the game's over. So it can be as short as 15 minutes if you wanted it to be.
Yeah. Because the point system on the cards is 10, 20, and 30. So those are your points. So if you want to work out and say you're going to do 5 cards at 30, that's 150 points if everybody choose 30. If you've got 2 teams, that's 5 cards that you can then go and do. So it'll be really, really quickly. It just really depends on how in depth you want to do it, or is it something that's going to maybe sit in the library and the kids are going to come and play that? So, we really try and make sure that you can spend, even if you just use the cards and you don't bring out the board game, have the comment. That can be 10 minutes, or you can do this over actually a 10-week program that you can cover and do that. Imagine an after-school program, 1 card and a coding card challenge. That will keep you busy.
Amazing. Real quick, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Otherwise, we will be sending you an email. But also reach out to us if you want to purchase one, or if you want to know more about it. Our contact is sales@stemeducationworks.com, and then we also have learn@stemeducationworks.com. So learn is going to be those of us who are in the curriculum side, and sales is going to be in the sales side, depending on your needs. And also next month, I will be doing the webinar for the first time, and I don't know how long. I feel like it's been a really long time. So next month's webinar is going to be all about gifted kids. And it's going to be about the students learning about how to be given challenges and how to take a challenge and run with it. I'm bringing on one of my favorite teachers in the world, Lauren Kelly, who is a STEM teacher and also a gifted educator. So that's going to be next month. If you are interested in joining me, I'm actually going to be leading it again. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've led one, but this was super fun today, Ronel. Seriously, thank you so much for giving your time to me and to all of us to show us some amazing things they are doing. Thank
you. And I know people say, oh, be careful for using the word fun in education. But boy, I want to bring fun back in education, because that's how we drive engagement. And I think that's the biggest thing, is how do we drive engagement in the classroom?
This is definitely a way to do that. And I'm really excited that we have this now. And it's going to end up being probably a game that you're going to look for me, and I'm going to be in here playing. Don't worry. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, appreciate you giving of yourselves. I know it's a new year and lots of new things coming. So please stay in touch. Share what you're doing. We always want to know what you're doing and how things are going. But also thank you to Ronel. Appreciate you. And then we will see you next month. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.